This is Chris Videos. Like, subscribe to Team W Wrestling on YouTube, subscribe to my other channel, World of Chris, and subscribe to this channel, Chris Videos, and follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and both of my TikToks. It'll all be down there in the description box. And I'm here to do my AEW Dynamite April 12th, 2023 reviews. So here we go, discussing about AEW Dynamite for tonight. Now we kick off the show with the first one-on-one match of the night. It was Darby Allin versus Swerve Strickland one-on-one. Now Brian Cage and Prince Nana did walk out there with Swerve, but they decided to go to the back and stuff. So yeah, Swerve was all alone in this match. And yeah, it was a pretty good match between Darby and Swerve. It was going back and forth and everything. At one point, we see Darby climbing up the top turnbuckle, trying to hit the coffin drop on the Swerve on the ring apron, but Swerve quickly got back up and grabbed Darby Allin like in the electric chair position on the ring apron. Darby hits the Frankensteiner onto Swerve off the ring apron, which was pretty nice and everything. He grabs Swerve, throws him back into the ring, climbs up the top turnbuckle, and hits the coffin drop on the Swerve. Prince Nana comes walking out there. Darby goes for the pin. 1, 2. Prince Nana puts Swerve's foot on the ropes, which the referee seen his foot and called for rope break. So yeah, it saved Swerve Strickland right there. And then Darby gets out the ring going after Prince Nana up until we see Brian Cage walking out, getting face to face with Darby. Darby gets back into the ring. While the referee is distracted by that, we see Swerve outside the ring. He's, he starts grabbing Darby and stuff, kicks him upside the head, and then we see him hit the double foot stomp onto Darby, and his ankle was hurt during this match and stuff because he did something to his ankle or whatever, selling an injury. He goes for the pin. 1, 2. Darby barely kicking out at 2. The referee starts getting distracted by Brian Cage and Prince Nana. Swerve grabs the steel chair, come into the ring with the steel chair, but Darby drop kicks the chair out of his hands, and then Swerve gets back into the ring. He gets hit with the code red, but Darby Allin pins him. 1, 2. Swerve kicks out 2, and then he pins him with that pinning combination. Darby does, and got the 3 count right after code red after he kicked out. So yeah, Darby Allin defeated Swerve Strickland, and then we seen Jungle Boy and Sammy Guevara with Ty Mello watching this match from backstage. So yeah, that's what was going on there. But yeah, pretty good match between Darby Allin and Swerve Strickland. For that match, I'll give it 3.5 stars as well. I'll give it a pretty good start to Dynamite. So yeah, but then after that, after Darby was celebrating and stuff, his celebration got cut short because then the AEW World Heavyweight Champion MJF comes walking out. MJF has some stuff to say, and he starts talking about how he pretty much respects Darby Allin and everything, how they had a match against each other at Full Gear in 2021. And he said that he won that match and everything. But he said he beat Darby Allin with a simple move with 2 words: headlock takeover. So yeah, that's what MJF saying. He said he beat him with the most simplest move of them all. So yeah, that's what he was saying. And he was talking about how Sting is Darby's dad and all that stuff, and just talking a lot of crap to Darby Allin. So yeah, that's what MJF was talking about. But then Darby Allin was talking about how he wasn't happy or whatever in his first year of AEW. How he had to go to therapy and all that. MJF gets to try that out. And then he starts laying in on MJF and everything, which was pretty cool. MJF starts talking a lot of crap about him and Sting and all that stuff. But then, all of a sudden, Sting comes walking out. And Sting was like, look, I'm not nobody's daycare teacher or whatever, but I'm more like a cheerleader and all that stuff. And he starts pulling out some pom-poms out of his jacket and start throwing at MJF and all that stuff. And then he was talking about MJF's biggest supporter, Cody Rhodes, and he said that he ain't there no more, and how Darby Allin gets a big supporter within him, Sting, and that Sting's Surfer Sting used to have a big supporter of Ric Flair and all that stuff, saying thank you Ric Flair, and then Wolfpack with his supporters as Kevin Nash and Scott Hall, and saying thank you to them. So yeah, that's what Sting was doing right there, and he said that he don't got no desire to become the AEW World Heavyweight Champion because Showtime's almost over, talking about his retirement and all that stuff. But he says one person's Showtime about to begin, and that is Darby Allin. Darby Allin was talking about how that he's going to leave out this company eventually as the same person that he walked in as. But the thing is, he's going to leave out this company by taking down the man with the reign of terror and becoming the new AEW World Heavyweight Champion. MJF didn't like that. He spit some Darby Allin's face and quickly got out of the ring. So yeah, that's what happened there. Pretty good segment at the end. But yep, pretty good stuff. But up next we're going to be seeing Will Hobbs, Powerhouse Hobbs, defending the TNT Championship in a open challenge up next. So yeah, I'll see you guys later. Until then. So the next thing that happened on AEW Dynamite, it was a one-on-one match. It was the TNT Champion, Powerhouse Hobbs with QT Marshall versus Silas Young, one-on-one for the TNT Championship. So yeah, TNT titles on the line. Silas Young tried to go out on the offense on Powerhouse Hobbs. Wasn't much. Powerhouse Hobbs easily took control of this match, hitting that nice spine buster that he always does onto Silas Young. And then he picks him up on his shoulders like a torture rack position and hits that new finisher that he got. And he pinned Silas Young for the 3 count. So yeah, Powerhouse Hobbs defeated Silas Young tonight, and he has retained the TNT Championship. That's what happened. It was an okay match. But then after the match ended, we see Powerhouse Hobbs and QT Marshall grabbing Silas Young, dragging him up the ramp or something, like they're about to do something to Silas Young, up until we see on the TV monitor, on the big screen pretty much, with Wardlow in the parking lot. He chases off the security guard, and then he starts destroying Powerhouse Hobbs' car outside, throwing stuff through the windshield, grabbing a forklift, driving it, pretty much running it into Powerhouse Hobbs' car and then flipping it over and stuff. Forgot to put it in park, which was pretty funny. He got off the forklift, and Powerhouse Hobbs was mad about it, so he grabs Silas Young, and it looks like he's about to powerbomb him through 2 tables off the ramp. And yeah, then all of a sudden Wardlow's theme song hits. He comes out, starts brawling with Powerhouse Hobbs. So yeah, Hobbs was not able to powerbomb Silas Young off the ramp, and then him and Powerhouse Hobbs is going at it back and forth and everything. Bunch of wrestlers had come up trying to break him up. Wasn't happening or anything. Both of them fighting off the wrestlers, and then we see Aaron Solo jumping onto Wardlow's back, and then Wardlow flips him. Everybody back Powerhouse Hobbs up into the back room, and then we see Wardlow grabbing Aaron Solo and then powerbombing him through the tables off the ramp, and he went through one of them and he hit the back of his head on the other one. So yeah, hopefully Aaron Solo's okay after that, but yep, that's what happened there. And Wardlow's just standing tall. So yeah, for the match and what happened after the match, I'll just give it 1 star. That's what I'll give it. I'll just add in whatever happened after the match as well. So yeah. But up next, we're going to be seeing Orange Cassidy defending the International Championship up against Buddy Matthews. So yeah, that match will be up next. So yeah, see you guys later. Until then. So, the next thing that happened on AEW Dynamite, it was a one-on-one match. It was the AEW International Champion, Orange Cassidy, versus Buddy Matthews, with Julia Hart at ringside in a one-on-one match for the AEW International Championship. So, yeah. We get to the match, and this match, it was a really good match. It was going back and forth and everything. Orange Cassidy selling the injury of his right hand and everything, which was pretty cool. We see him hit the orange punch at one point onto Buddy Matthews, and he was selling the injury and all that stuff. Buddy Matthews, being the heel, just stomping on the hand and everything. So yeah, it was just pretty cool stuff right there. At one point, we see Orange Cassidy hit the beach break onto Buddy Matthews on the ring apron. Both of them almost got counted out, but both of them made it back into the ring by the count of 9. So yeah, both of them got saved from that. And yeah, it was just going back and forth between these two guys. Yeah, they were just going at it. We see pretty much Orange Cassidy hit like a suicide DDT, pretty much. Like a suicide dive into a DDT, which was pretty cool. He throws Matthews back into the ring. He jumped off the top turnbuckle with a nice DDT on the Matthews. Pins him, but Matthews barely kicking out at 2 and everything. So yeah, it was just going back and forth like crazy. At one point, we see Buddy Matthews trying to hit his finisher move on Orange Cassidy, but Orange Cassidy rolls him up for a pin, but he kicked out at 2. And then he got hit with a second orange punch again, but Matthews kicked out at 2 again. So yeah, like I said, it was just a wild match, just going back and forth between these two guys. It was like not ending or anything, and yeah, they was just going at it a lot. So yeah, it was just a really good match, like I said. But then we get to the very ending where we see Buddy Matthews try to hit his finish move once again onto Orange Cassidy, but Orange Cassidy goes right behind him onto his feet and then rolls him up for the 1, 2, 3. So yeah, Orange Cassidy defeated Buddy Matthews tonight, and he has retained the AEW International Championship. That's what happened. Really good match though between those two guys. I give that match 3.5 stars. That's why I'll give it. Really good match between Cassidy and Matthews. So yeah. But then after that, we see pretty much a video package of Luchasaurus and Christian Cage. So yeah, that's what happened there. Pretty good stuff. But still to come later on tonight on Dynamite, we will see Chris Jericho versus Keith Lee one-on-one tonight on Dynamite. So yeah, I'll see you guys later. Until then. So the next thing to happen on AEW Dynamite. So before we talk about the big segment and everything, we gotta talk about what happened beforehand. So we see Renee Paquette interviewing the AEW International Champion Orange Cassidy and Trent Beretta and Chuck Taylor, best friends. So yeah, she was talking about like, is your hand okay, Orange Cassidy, and all that, and Trent Beretta said he's perfectly fine. He's a defending champion. He's been defending his title every single week and been winning it, and he'll be doing good. So yeah, that's what he was saying. But then he says that they're actually a little bit jealous, actually, and they said that they want to do an open challenge as well, and they sent an open challenge to Aussie Open. So yeah, that's what they said. But then after that, we see Ethan Page in the middle of the ring, and pretty much he's calling out Matt Hardy for what happened last week on Dynamite and everything. He says that Matt Hardy and Isaiah Cassidy still works for him, and he wants to know why they attacked him last week and all that stuff, and what about that contract that he got him signed. So yeah, that's what he was calling him out for. And then Matt Hardy and Isaiah Cassidy comes out, and they was talking about like how Matt Hardy said he was talking about how he manipulated Ethan Page to thinking he was best friends with him and all that stuff. But he said he wanted to get out the contract, so he said he got him to sign the contract. If he loses the hook, he will get out the contract and all that stuff. And him and Private Party will. And the contract says that Matt Hardy has to have a match against Ethan Page with any stipulation and all that stuff to get out of the contract. So yeah, that's what he was saying. But yeah, Ethan Page was talking about like, oh, did you thought like it was just me and Stokely Hathaway in the firm? And he says we still got more members and all that stuff. And then behind him we see Big Bill and Lee Moriarty attacking Matt Hardy and Isaiah Cassidy. They throw him in the ring. All three of them's beating both of them down. Hook comes down, trying to make the save. He was fighting them for a little bit, but then the numbers caught up to him and they started beating him down. And then all of a sudden, Jeff Hardy returns. He comes running down with a chair. He starts beating Ethan Page and got Big Bill over the top rope and stuff, and beat Lee Moriarty with the chair, throwing it at his head. Here's the twist of fate onto Lee Moriarty. He climbs up the top turnbuckle and jumps off with the Swanton Bomb, laying him out. So yeah, that's what happened there. Jeff Hardy makes his return tonight on Dynamite. So yeah, and then after that we see Kenny Omega on the screen pretty much from earlier today, sending out a message that the Elite will do perfectly fine. They're going to come after the Blackpool Combat Club and stuff. So yeah, that's what he was saying. But up next, speaking about the Blackpool Combat Club, they'll be in action up next. So yeah, I will see you guys later until the next thing that happens on AEW Dynamite. See you guys later until then. So the next thing to happen on AEW Dynamite, we get to the next match of the night, which was a tag team match. It was Jon Moxley and Claudio Castagnoli with Willie Yuta at ringside the Blackpool Combat Club versus Brandon Cutler and Michael Nakazawa in a tag team match. And yeah, the Blackpool Combat Club started attacking Nakazawa and Cutler before the match even started, busting both of them open and stuff. Michael Nakazawa was trying to fight back, and same for Brandon Cutler a few times. But at the ending, obviously, it wasn't enough where we see Moxley hitting the Death Rider onto Brandon Cutler and stuff, laying him out after he hit a vicious lariat onto him, vicious clothesline. So yeah, and then we see Claudio Castagnoli coming in there, hitting the his power bomb onto Michael Nakazawa, laying him out as well. So yeah, I guess the match ended like in a no contest or something. But yeah, that's what happened there. But then after the match ended, the Blackpool Combat Clubs obviously just keep on beating down Brandon Cutler and Michael Nakazawa and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden, Kenny Omega's theme song hits. So here he comes walking down, but he stops in his tracks and stuff. So yeah, Omega's out there and he stops in his tracks on the ramp and stuff. John Moxley's outside the ring waiting for him to come down, while Claudio Castagnoli and Wheeler Yuta's inside the ring and stuff. But then all of a sudden we see Matt and Nick Jackson, the Young Bucks, behind Claudio and Wheeler. They turn around, they get hit with the super kicks from the Young Bucks and stuff, and then Moxley gets in the ring trying to fight with them, and Omega gets in the ring brawling with Moxley and stuff. Claudio and Wheeler gets taken out of the ring, and then all of a sudden we see the Young Bucks hit the BTE trigger onto John Moxley, laying him out. Kenny Omega gets out the ring, and then Omega grabs his toolbox and stuff, about to hit Moxley with it, but then we see Matt Jackson stop Kenny Omega, and he gives him a screwdriver and pretty much stab John Moxley upside the head. Moxley's calling for him, and then Claudio comes up, dragging Moxley out the ring before it happens, because Kenny Omega ran up to him, tried to hit him with it, and he stabbed the turnbuckle and stuff. So yeah, that's what happened there. Pretty good stuff though. And then after that, we see Tony Schiavone interviewing Swerve Strickland, and he's with Brian Cage and Prince Nana, and they was talking about how they are actually happy, and Darby Allin's learning from Swerve Strickland's legacy and all that stuff. So yeah, that's what he was talking about, and then pretty much that saying that Brian Cage will be in the match soon. So yeah, that's what happened there. But for that match with Moxley and them, I'll give it 1.5 stars. That's why I'll give it. It was okay. So yeah. But up next, we're going to be seeing Ruby Soho and Toni Storm versus Riho and Sky Blue up next in a tag team match. And still to come later on tonight in the main event, Chris Jericho versus Keith Lee one-on-one. So yeah, I'll see you guys later until the next thing that happens on AEW Dynamite. See you guys later until then. So the next thing to happen on AEW Dynamite, it was a tag team match. It was Toni Storm and Ruby Soho with Saraya at ringside, the Outcast, versus Riho and Sky Blue in a tag team match. And it was an okay tag team match. It was going back and forth and everything. We get to the very ending where all the women start interfering in this match. Riho wraps her arms and legs around Ruby Soho's arms, and we see Sky Blue coming up, hitting a super kick onto her, which led into a crucifix bomb onto Ruby Soho, laying her out, and then Rio's dealing with her outside the ring. And then we see Toni Storm coming up, hitting a German suplex on the Sky Blue, hits the hip attack onto her in the corner, lifts her up, and hits Storm Zero onto Sky Blue, pinning her for the 1, 2, 3. So yeah, Toni Storm and Ruby Soho defeated Sky Blue and Riho tonight in the tag team match. That's what happened. But then after the match ended, the Outcast starts attacking Riho and Sky Blue, beating them down and stuff. They brought out the spray paint can, sprayed the L onto Riho's stomach, and then hits a triple power bomb onto her, laying her out. And then all of a sudden, the AEW Women's Champion, Jamie Hayter, comes running out, but then she starts getting attacked because 3-on-1, so you had to beat her down. And then Britt Baker comes running down. Everybody gets out the ring. We see Toni Storm try to hit her, but she gets hit with a super kick. And then Ruby Soho gets hit with one as well outside the ring. She gets in the ring, starts brawling with Saraya and stuff. Knocks Saraya down to her hands and knees. Runs to the ropes, trying to hit the curb stump, but Saraya quickly got pulled out by Toni Storm and Ruby Soho. So yeah, that's what happened there. Pretty good stuff though, I guess. For the match and what happened after the match, I'll give it 2 stars. That's what I'll give it. It was alright. But yeah, up next, it'll be the main event. Chris Jericho versus Keith Lee, one-on-one up next. So yeah, I'll see you guys later. Until then. So the next thing to happen on AEW Dynamite, it was a main event. It was a one-on-one match. It was Chris Jericho with Daniel Garcia at ringside versus Keith Lee one-on-one. So yeah, it was an okay match between Keith Lee and Jericho. It was going back and forth and everything. Jericho locked on the walls of Jericho at one point onto Keith Lee. Keith Lee was crawling to the ropes and he grabs the ropes and all that. But Jericho thinking that he won the match and all that stuff. But he come to find out that he didn't win the match. And then he runs and Keith Lee lifts him up on his shoulders, Looks like Keith Lee's about to hit that one finish move onto Jericho, but Jericho's grabbing onto the referee's shirt, so yeah, the referee don't notice what's about to happen. Daniel Garcia gets on the ring apron, starts punching Keith Lee in the back. Keith Lee lets go of Jericho, and he grabs Daniel Garcia and tosses him right into the ring and stuff, and Garcia rolls back out the ring. So yeah, Daniel Garcia kept on interfering in this match, and then Jericho was trying to hit the code-breaker onto Keith Lee, but Keith Lee catches him, and yeah, he lifts him up onto his shoulders and then hits the spirit bomb onto Chris Jericho. Keith Lee is about to go for the pin onto Jericho, and while the referee's still dealing with Daniel Garcia and stuff in the corner, we see Swerve Strickland wearing a mask and all that, got like a camera and comes up and hits Keith Lee upside the head while he's like had his head like close to the second rope and stuff. So yeah, Keith Lee gets knocked out. Jericho crawls over to Keith Lee, puts his arm over his chest, getting the 1, 2, 3. So yeah, Chris Jericho defeated Keith Lee tonight on AEW Dynamite, and then after the match ended, Adam Cole's theme song hits. He comes walking down. Keith Lee's outside the ring while Jericho and Daniel Garcia is inside the ring, and Adam Cole helps Keith Lee up, talking to him and stuff, and they both start walking away. Adam Cole does that little side eye like Jericho did a few weeks ago, so yeah, does that back with Jericho. But yep, that's what happened there for that match and what happened after the match and stuff. I'll give it 3 stars as well. I'll give it match of the night for me was probably Buddy Matthews versus Orange Cassidy. That was a really good one. So yeah. But yeah, that was AEW Dynamite for tonight's episode of AEW Dynamite. I'll give it 7 stars as well. I'll give it, it was an okay episode, but yeah. But yeah, that was Dynamite for you. Like, subscribe to Team W Wrestling on YouTube, subscribe to my other channel, Word of Chris, and subscribe to this channel, Chris Bales, and follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and both of my TikToks. They'll all be down there in the description box. And yeah, I'll see you guys later for this Friday's Friday Night SmackDown reviews. See you guys later. Until then.